Hi, my name is Cindy. I remember this time several years ago in the fall when I had a beautiful Jackman clematis vine and beautiful sunflowers. I try to have those every year. I'm not really a gardener. That's about the only thing I've ever been able to grow. But we had to relocate them to a different side of the house because we had a skunk problem, and my husband had to do some work out there to prevent the skunk from coming back. And it worked wonderfully. No skunk. But my flowers didn't do very well this year. In fact, the sunflowers didn't grow at all. But it reminded me back in the fall that year that I had been fixing supper in the house and something black flew over my head. And I thought it was a fly. And I thought, oh, phooey, there's a fly in the house. And I watched for it, but I didn't see it again. And later that night, when we were having supper, out of the corner of my eye, I saw something black descend in front of my husband's face. And he had his face down looking at his plate. He was eating, and he must have thought it was just the fly because he swatted at it. And I looked again, and it came down in front of his face again. And he still hadn't looked up to see what it was, but I did. And I jumped off my chair and I was hollering, "It's a bee, move!" And I ran and I got the fly swatter to give it to him. You see, my husband is allergic to bee venom, and it wouldn't be just a sting. It would be a deadly sting with consequences. And the bee flew all around the kitchen, but my husband finally killed it, and it landed on the stovetop. And as I stared at it, I remembered that earlier in the day, I had seen bees all over my clematis vine and my sunflowers, even though the flowers had fallen off and it's starting to wither with the cool fall air. And I thought, sin is like that, isn't it? It hovers around us, but we don't often pay attention to it. Outside our home, and then in our home, and then right in front of our face. And by that time, it may be too late. There could be deadly consequences. It's like a little anger turns into road rage. A little temper turns into bullying. A little drink turns into alcoholism. A little flirting turns into an affair. A little drug use turns into an addicted lifestyle. Jesus warns us to guard our hearts. Be watchful. Be mindful of the things around us that cause us to fall away from His love, because deadly consequences will turn into eternal consequences if you don't have a watchful heart and guard against them. So, why take the chance? My name is Cindy. I hope to see you again soon.